$25 million failure on a mission to Mars. What does it take to make a bad day on Wall Street? The Microsoft president said that tech stocks, including his own, were overvalued. We're going to take a closer look tonight at a senator's power, how to work the system. And George C. Scott has died.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser.
A man not to be forgotten.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a disappointment for anyone interested in the future. The space agency says tonight that a multi-million-dollar spacecraft sent to explore the atmosphere of the planet Mars has been destroyed. It's a setback to years of work already done. In the vastness of space, all it takes is one navigation error. In this case, NASA was off by 60 miles. Here's ABC's Ned Potter.
As Mars Climate Orbiter approached its target, all was go, and managers expected to report today that it was safely in orbit. Instead, all they had was radio silence.
I'm sorry to report that we have a serious problem with the Mars Climate Orbiter. We may, in fact, be facing a loss of mission.
Here's what happened to the 11-foot, 1,300-pound spacecraft. Early this morning, it swung around the planet as scheduled and fired its engine to slow into orbit. 6 minutes later, also as planned, it passed behind the far side of Mars out of contact with Earth. It should have made contact again half an hour later.
Now about 14 minutes past the point we would have expected to receive signals.
It never did.
We are continuing to attempt to get a signal from the spacecraft.
Dejected engineers now believe there was a navigation error. The ship was supposed to have swung about 90 miles above the Martian surface as it went into orbit. Instead, radio data suggests it may have been only 37 miles up, in which case it would have been torn apart as it raced through the planet's atmosphere.
If indeed the altitude that was quoted is accurate and proves to be true, we don't believe on the spacecraft side that it is survivable.
Mars has never welcomed visitors from Earth. 22 probes have been sent there. Today apparently was the 15th failure. There will be more missions, but barring a surprise, this one is a $125 million loss. Ned Potter, ABC News, New York.
On the subject of money, there were big losses on Wall Street again today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down more than 205 points to close at 10,318. On the NASDAQ, stocks were down 108 points. The Dow is now down more than 1,000 points from its high in August, and the NASDAQ is off 145 points from its high. ABC's Betsy Stark is on Wall Street tonight. Betsy, what are investors concerned about today?
Well, there were a lot of things investors were concerned about today, Peter. Some of the usual suspects, fear of higher interest rates, of higher inflation around the corner. What will the Fed do to contain that? And of a falling dollar, which can aggravate the inflation picture. And the Dow really took its cue from the NASDAQ, which had the worst of the day.
And what about these comments from the president of Microsoft about high-tech stocks?
Well, the president of Microsoft, Steve Ballmer, said there's such an overvaluation of tech stocks, it's absurd. When you hear something like that from a titan of the tech industry, when the market is already jittery, it can have the impact you saw today. And without agreeing or disagreeing with Mr. Ballmer, it's worth pointing out that the NASDAQ is still up 25% this year, even after today's rout.
Okay, thanks very much, Betsy Stark on Wall Street for us this evening. At the White House today, on the subject of money, the president vetoed the Republicans' $800 billion tax cut bill, as he promised he would. He says it is too big and would undermine efforts to shore up Social Security and Medicare. Republicans say the president stole a tax cut from working Americans. A couple of items from the presidential campaign today. George W. Bush, running for the Republican nomination, outlined his proposals for national defense. He says he wants more money for weapons research, better pay for the military, and less of a contribution to international peacekeeping. And Bill Bradley, trying for the Democratic nomination, got a big name endorsement today from retiring Senator Moynihan of New York. Mr. Moynihan said that Vice President Gore cannot be elected. In other news today, the floodwaters in North Carolina are finally beginning to recede. It's now been a week since Hurricane Floyd inflicted this mess. It's kind of hard for those of us elsewhere to grasp the extent of the damage, but normal life in eastern North Carolina has basically shut down. Here's ABC's Rebecca Chase.
At times, it feels like a war zone here. Shelters are beginning to look like refugee camps. School has been indefinitely suspended.
All right, Frank.
Temporary kitchens feed thousands.
You tell them you're new and you need some blankets.
There is a crush of people waiting to sign up for disaster aid. And the sky is filled with helicopters, bringing food and medicine to communities still cut off, rescuing stranded animals, both small and large. As the Neuse River crested today, the only way to travel through Kinston was with the help of the National Guard. It is becoming clear that lives will be disrupted here for months, even years. 9 breached dams, dozens of power stations, and water treatment plants flooded.
We haven't had water for the town of Tarboro for our citizens since last Thursday.
20,000 residents are still without water. In Greenville, the hospital is keeping its rehabilitation swimming pool filled to meet critical medical needs.
Dialysis units can require up to 5,000 gallons for a shift of patients.
So many basic functions of daily life are disrupted. Water still surrounds schools, courthouses, churches.
But even after the water recedes, the recovery really just begins. These temporary towns are being built for flood victims.
But life in these small 20-foot trailers is no short camping trip. People are expected to live here for as long as 18 months. Rebecca Chase, ABC News, Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
In Texas today, a second death sentence in the grisly case of James Byrd, the black man who was dragged to his death behind a truck. White supremacist Lawrence Brewer will now join his former roommate, John King, on death row. In Moscow today, our correspondent has been talking to a man the CIA calls the most dangerous mobster in the world. When we come back, as well as a look at the most extraordinary collection of baseball memorabilia.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Aleve.
Thanks for making Aleve. For almost 5 years, I had a hard time walking. I went from doctor to doctor and even had surgery on both knees. Pain relievers like Tylenol quit after a few hours and the pain came back. Finally, a doctor suggested Aleve. Within a week, I was dancing all night like I hadn't done in years.
Aleve can stop pain all day with just 2 pills. It would take 8 Tylenol to do that.
Now people say I'm a walking advertisement for Aleve.
All day strong, all day long.
This summer, put Cadillac Seville's amazing performance to the test and get a lesson in power and control. Then put our lease to the test. Lease a new 99 Seville for just $549 a month. Call for complete lease details. You'll even get a 3-year SmartCare basic maintenance contract at no extra charge. So drive a Seville today and put Cadillac to the test.
Sis, I snooped in your medicine cabinet.
So?
You switched to X-Lax.
Yeah, Correctol works with something artificial. X-Lax works with natural senna.
Very effectively, too.
You tried it.
What a find.
What a snoop.
Good morning, guaranteed.
The Clinton administration proposed a package of new laws today that it hopes will prevent criminals in many countries from laundering money in American banks. Many law enforcement experts say, good luck. Pursuing organized criminals is hard, in part because so many countries have lax laws or no laws to stop money laundering. Which brings us this evening to Russia and the man who's been called one of the most dangerous mobsters in the world. His name is Semyon Mogilevich. He's rarely seen, but he sat down with ABC's Gillian Finley in Moscow.
When Semyon Mogilevich and his entourage showed up for our interview, the atmosphere was tense. We were warned in no uncertain terms that his associates must not be identified. Mr. Mogilevich himself wanted to tell us that the allegations that he laundered millions of dollars through an American bank have ruined him.
I have no business now. Who would want to work with me? Except maybe Procter & Gamble.
Procter & Gamble, as in soap, as in laundry. He may joke about his reputation as a money launderer, but there are reasons why Western intelligence agencies believe Mr. Mogilevich is a very serious criminal. A 1995 classified FBI report obtained by ABC News describes Mogilevich as the head of a crime organization headquartered in Hungary that operates around the world, including the United States. It is allegedly involved in illegal arms dealing, drug trafficking, prostitution, trading in nuclear materials, extortion, and murder. The report links Mogilevich to other leading organized crime figures in Russia, but he himself has never been convicted of a serious crime.
He's a very smart man, and he hires, brilliant people, to do his financial crimes. At the same time, he hires goons to do his heavy lifting.
Why is it in 5 years they have yet to find a single piece of evidence of my criminal activities? I'm still here. I'm talking with you.
And talk he did in this rare interview for an hour and a half. While the U.S. Congress was hearing more about organized crime in Russia,
the potential to destabilize the Russian state,
Semyon Mogilevich was insisting there was no such thing.
What about all the money that's sitting in foreign bank accounts in Switzerland?
How many accounts do the Americans have? Is that organized crime money? I know what organized crime is. I read American books, watch films. The birthplace of the mafia is in the U.S., and they just export it to the rest of the world.
Mr. Mogilevich says he's just a convenient target. I'm used to it, he told us as he left. But clearly, he's not resigned to it. Next week, he says he will launch a website to tell the world that Semyon Mogilevich is an innocent man. Gillian Finley, ABC News, Moscow.
Russia appears to be broadening its latest war against Islamic rebels. The Russians bombed the main airport in Chechnya today. Russia says Chechnya is provoking unrest in the region as a whole, and this was the heaviest bombardment since the current crisis began. Raisa Gorbachev, the last First Lady of the Soviet Union, was buried today in a Moscow cemetery. Hundreds of Russians showed up, expressing more interest to her in death than they had in the latter years of her life. "Forgive us our criticism and farewell," said one Russian newspaper. Her husband, the former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, had depended on her so much in their 40 years of marriage. Since she died of cancer earlier this week, his grief has been unmistakable. In a moment, how a senator gets what he or she wants. We'll take a closer look.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
Introducing new Smooth Mint Scope. It keeps your breath feeling clean and fresh longer. And it kills bad breath germs. Because love is all about waiting for the right time. So be ready with new Smooth Mint Scope. Feel the tingle longer.
28 different children from 28 different families with 28 different futures, whose parents all share the need for help making informed decisions on what matters most: their health, their finances, their future. One name, Aetna, for what matters most.
Nobody does it like you.
Okay, it's your call. Use your new caddy vac with all the tools on board, or slide the caddy off for a lightweight, nimble machine. It's a nice choice. Deep down, you want Hoover.
Oh, I should have used Preparation H. Cool it fast. Introducing Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. New Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at what political power in Washington adds up to sometimes. Today, the Senate moved one step closer to passing a bill that would save American oil companies millions of dollars, which the Interior Department believes is money that the government, and by inference the American people, should have use of instead. But the Interior Department does not appear to be a match for one Texas senator. So first, here's ABC's John Cochran.
It sounds simple enough, but it's slippery business, oil business. Oil companies drill on land owned by the government. In return, companies pay royalties based on the market price. But the Interior Department says some companies use creative accounting to determine that price.
They are cheating the American taxpayer. They are cheating by artificially lowering the price of oil.
Last year, the Interior Department proposed a new rule requiring companies to use the real market price. But oil companies, who are generous with their campaign contributions, lobbied Congress. They found a staunch ally in a senator from an oil state.
The issue here is whether an unaccountable federal agency can raise royalty rates, which will raise the price of gasoline for every working American.
The Clinton administration says the threat of higher prices is no excuse for oil companies to evade the law. 3 times the Interior Department tried to push through its new rule, and 3 times Senator Hutchison used a classic Washington strategy to block it, attaching little-noticed amendments to bills that have nothing to do with oil, spending bills for American forces in Kosovo, the Y2K computer problem, and disaster relief. Now another senator, Barbara Boxer, is taking on the oil companies, who she says are guilty of fraud.
We know this because whistleblowers, former oil executives, have told us that they have sat around and essentially planned to defraud the government.
The Clinton administration says changing the present system would bring in another $66 million each year from the oil industry. But oil companies know how Washington works, and they know how to work Washington. John Cochran, ABC News, the White House.
One more example of how Washington works tonight. In this case, it's between the senator and the Navy. When the Senate Majority Leader, Trent Lott of Mississippi, says that he wants something and the Navy is not enthusiastic, bet on the senator. Here's ABC's Jackie Judd.
When Trent Lott plays music or plays politics, people listen.
Senator Lott is Majority Leader. And when it comes to the pecking order in the Senate, for example, he has a lot of power. And the people of Mississippi expect him to use that power on their behalf, and he does.
Most recently with a $1.5 billion helicopter carrier similar to this one. It would be built at a shipyard that is literally in Lott's backyard in Pascagoula, Mississippi, and it would mean work for at least 1,000 people.
Back home, it's bread and butter. He's bringing home the bacon, and in terms of pork, this is not a piglet. It's like a $1.5 billion side of bacon.
The problem is the Navy doesn't want or need the ship now, but the Majority Leader wants it now, arguing the sooner the ship is built, the cheaper it will be. And he wants $500 million now to get it started.
When the Navy suggested it could spend far less and use the other money for more urgent projects, a lot aide wrote back that was the wrong answer.
That's politics, and that's the reason we wind up with so many weapons. They're actually military weapons, but they're as much political weapons as anything.
Another Senate veteran says this is all simply business as usual.
This year I identified $4.5 billion worth of waste in pork in the defense appropriations bill. It's out of control. Republicans are as guilty as Democrats, and it's a disgrace.
But the senator is sure to win, and the shipbuilder in Lott's backyard is going to be a very busy place. Jackie Judd, ABC News.
How Washington works. When we come back, the raw power of George C. Scott.
Aren't there enough reasons in your life to talk to your doctor about Zocor? To learn more about Zocor, ask your doctor. Zocor, be there.
I think the most important feeding is the one that you start in the fall, so your lawn starts to look healthier in the spring. And consequently, you need Scott's Winterizer. When I put down Winterizer in the fall, it allows us to develop a good, strong root base, and it allows the lawn to endure the winter weather, and you get a real early greening. This grass is beautiful, thick, deep green. People will stop by and say, how'd you do that? Scott's Winterizer gives the grass a kickstart in the fall and makes it really look great in the spring.
50 is courageous, confident, beautiful. 50 is being who you are. To make sure being who you are stays beautiful, there's Provital, for skin that looks revitalized, resilient, remarkable. Just like you. Provital from Olay. Proven to be why women over 50 look so wonderful.
What if Dr. Frankenstein's experiment had worked? And instead of being ugly and ruthless, the monster was handsome and charming. Would the villagers still have hunted him down? Or would they have invited him in and introduced him to their daughters? Introducing the all-new 2000 Mitsubishi Eclipse, nicely equipped at 17.7. It's alive.
Something's up with Mom. Now when she comes home, she's got an activity planned. She's a total spaz.
Exercise, eat right, and take GNC's Women's Ultra Mega Multivitamin with more of what's important. GNC. Live well.
Maybe she'll grow out of it.
If heaven were a beach, you'd have the bluest skies, the warmest waves, and Red Lobster's ultimate feast. Lobster tail, snow crab legs, shrimp scampi, and golden fried butterfly shrimp. Escape to Red Lobster.
One of America's most formidable actors has died. George C. Scott was only 71. From the time he chose acting over journalism because it paid better, this man of enormous intensity and ragged character played roles that will always be identified with him.
I was like
On the New York stage from the 1950s to the 90s, in a series of stunning character roles for Hollywood.
Mr. President, I'm not saying we wouldn't get our hair mussed, but I do say no more than 10 to 20 million killed, tops, depending on the break.
At times, Scott seemed as famous for his reckless and violent personal behavior. Alcohol was his companion. The director, Mike Nichols, once told a frightened actress, "My dear, the whole world is scared of George." The whole world will remember him for Patton.
I want you to remember that no bastard ever won war by dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country. Americans play to win all the time. I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a man who lost and laughed. That's why Americans have never lost and will never lose a war. Because the very thought of losing is hateful to America.
He won the 1970 Academy Award for Patton. He thought that Academy Awards were meaningless. He stayed home. When we come back, history on the block.
No, this isn't a jeans commercial. It's about constipation. You're bloated, not yourself. If you're size 10s, feel like 2s.
FiberCon has natural fiber action to relieve bloating constipation.
I'm myself again.
FiberCon, be regular, be yourself.
Right now, see more trucks than an all-night diner during the GMC Summer Convoy. Pickups, SUVs, and family vans. 2 million tons of professional-grade trucks, designed better than they need to be. Like the GMC Sierra, the only half-ton pickup with standard 4-wheel anti-lock disc brakes on all models. Get up to $1,000 cash back on select 1999 Sierras. This is one convoy you don't want passing you by.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
We ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days, and it helped both of us lower our cholesterol 17 points.
think we want to eat something different after 30 days of oatmeal. But you know what they say.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Quaker Oatmeal warms your heart and soul.
Tonight on ABC Premier Week, the Big Picture Show is bringing out the big guns. Oscar winner Mel Gibson, Rene Russo, Danny Glover, Joe Pesci. Oops, Lethal Weapon 3, ABC Premier Week tonight, 8:30, 7:30 Central. Parental discretion advised.
It's a brief review of our top story. The space agency says that a $125 million spacecraft sent to explore the atmosphere of Mars has been destroyed. NASA engineers believe a navigation error caused the Mars orbiter to swing too low into the atmosphere of Mars and break up. Finally, this evening, the really great baseball auction. It begins this evening at Sotheby's Auction House here in New York. Those who have seen the collection say there has never been anything like it. ABC's Morton Dean, who lives and breathes the Boston Red Sox, was there for the afternoon.
It's more than a collection, more than just jerseys. Hundreds of them. Stan Musials, Satchel Pages, Hank Aaron's. And it's more than autographed balls, World Series rings, endorsements, Ted Williams root beer, Cy Young cigars. It's one fan's fantastic fantasy. Barry Halpert, businessman, part owner of the New York Yankees.
There's around 80,000 pieces in this collection.
It's a history of baseball.
It is probably the most important document in the history of baseball. It is the agreement that sent Babe Ruth from the Red Sox to the Yankees in 1920.
The Red Sox, the Yankees, and baseball would never be the same. Ruth dominates the collection as he dominated the game. This was the bat Babe Ruth used his very last time up at the plate. He grounded out, cracked the bat, and retired. 1935. To the auction, items showing not only how baseball changed, but how America changed. This is Jack Roosevelt Robinson, Jackie Robinson, and it asks his ambition in baseball.
To open door for Negroes in organized ball.
And that he did.
He certainly did.
The scope of the collection is astounding. From a ticket to the first World Series, 1903, Pittsburgh and the Red Sox, to a glove, Bill Buckner's, that cost the Red Sox a World Series, 1986. And what in the world are these?
Those are Ty Cobb's dentures.
His dentures?
His dentures, believe it or not.
Baseball can be an obsession. Morton Dean, ABC News, New York.
Just one other note. The auctioneers at Sotheby's, as you saw, let our correspondent Morton Dean swing that last bat that Babe Ruth used. We have it on good authority that he dropped it. That crack was already there, he said. But we are now told that he is thinking of filing for bankruptcy. That is our report on World News Tonight. Don't forget Nightline. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening. Good night.
Tomorrow, can animals held in captivity be released? Will human intervention destroy their ability to survive? Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
This is KATU, the power of 2000. Now, Channel 2 News.
Well, just as the storm clouds are rolling in, rescue crews on Lookout Mountain find the missing woman they've been searching for. Now the question is, after 36 hours stranded on the mountain, what condition is she in? Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
I'm Paul Inman. Good evening.
Within the last half hour, search crews found 38-year-old Francesca